The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are the tip of the spear of the franchise. They are the people that America is watching. And then, after their season, the rest of the people who they did not pick just bubble up and completely overtake them. And they have to be at home. She's sitting next to Garrett. He's mouthing off about how the fucking leftist psychos are taking over the world. And she's thinking, what have I gotten myself into? We're planting tomatoes. I don't care about that rose bush. It's dying. Hi, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody? I got my powers back.
How's your health?
It's really good. That was why I said I got my powers back. That
Behind
was Larry
the glass
Johnson in Space Jam.
Is Patrick, the producer of the podcast.
Hi, everybody. I'll probably get to this at the end of the show when we say goodbye, but I just want to say I've had a great time, and I'm really upset that this is the last one.
Bittersweet, guys. This is the last podcast of the season for some time. It's not coming back until January. Just want to get this not out of the way, but yes, out of the way, because we have more important things to talk about. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening to every single episode we've put out. We couldn't do it without you guys.
This is kind of like General Thoughts, right?
No, but
we're not there yet.
We could get into it right now if you want. We got an episode to talk about.
Okay.
The last one of Bachelor in Paradise. Guys, what were your general thoughts?
I generally think this phrase is way too much, but this episode, it gave me all the feels. This season has been a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. As we mentioned, 35 contestants have come and gone from
Still not a real number. There's no way there were that many.
Oh,
He said it. Chris Harrison said it. Mm-hmm.
I've got some news for you later. But anyways, 35 contestants came and went from this island that's not an island. And just like them, we very quickly developed roller coaster type relationships with these people.
Yeah.
And many of whom I still am not sure really how I feel about. So bravo to Mike Fleiss, Elon Gale, Lauren 1, Lauren 2, Rachel 1, Lauren 3, and Rachel 2, and the whole rest of the gang.
You guys did a fucking bang-up job this season.
All that being said, I'm only going to give this episode an 8.2.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just because there was such a high ceiling of what it could have been.
Oh, my goodness. Before we get to your general thoughts, let me give mine.
Okay.
Wrong you are with that score, 9.2. Pat, what are your general thoughts?
7.3. Let me get my number out front there. And I'll say because we had 29 minutes of the overnight aftermath, and that's why it is deduction.
The overnight aftermath. It was proposals, baby.
Knock that down to the first 10 minutes and move the fuck on, because we got so much other drama after that. But my general thoughts are, if anything, this season really confirmed that now people are really just here to gain Instagram followers. They will lie to our faces, and I don't like it. And I hope a shake-up happens in Bachelor Nation and casting is done a little better. That's my general thought number one. General thought number two.
Oh, wow.
Colton and Tia were completely sidelined during this episode, and I got to tell you, production, you did a great job doing that. You realized America didn't want to hear anything more out of these two fools.
All you have to do is listen to Patrick, which they do. They come to this podcast, they listen to Patrick because, as we've talked about in the past, he's a master of how people should behave on the show and how people should act on the show. You can get his Groupon.
$13,
or if you want to get coached up for the regular fee of
$50 an hour,
you can hit us up for that as well. Guys, let's jump into the last episode of the season. You mentioned we have a couple minutes of shit to wade through.
29 minutes to be exact.
Let's wrap everything up on the beach before we get to the live Bachelor in Paradise finale in front of a live studio audience. First up, Annalise. She wakes up and she's got little birdies spinning around her head, flying around her head.
Oof. Let me tell you something. I will give this to her. I'm not her biggest fan. But looking pretty cute when that makeup's applied. It shows you
Okay,
what
Patrick.
makeup does for homely broads.
I think there's something they do to remove her puffiness too when she's able to get full hair and makeup, and it really smooths things out.
Okay, so
Nothing you can add to that job.
just to talk about the emotions of the day real quickly. She, of course, is in love, and she wants to tell Camille everything that she's thinking. Please do not. That would not be good, but alas, she does. They get up to the altar, and she starts saying vows, real vows. Pat, do we have a clip?
Yeah. And before I play it, I just want to say that this is kind of the roles were reversed here as we watch these, I guess, kind of proposals, or what they're. I call it the proposal platform, and I call the fantasy suites the fuck room.
Thanks for letting us know.
So anyway, what Dylan's saying is the roles are reversed where the females actually make their argument, I'd say, in front of a courtroom why the man should propose, and it comes off that way. At least
It is weird. Yeah, the ladies go first.
When you walked in, I was instantly intrigued by your good looks and your charm. But what I really fell in love with was your soul. And when I look into your eyes, I feel safe and I feel trust. I know that not only am I the one for you, but you're the one for me. I just knew I wanted to wake up to you every morning for the rest of our lives.
Thank you.
Can I just say something here?
Yeah.
I've watched her all season long. I watched her on RE season, and this is the kind of girl that you could convince to murder your coworker that you don't like.
1,000%.
You could work her up in under 2 weeks. I don't forget what there's a term for this, but you could literally get her to drive a knife into someone's back that you don't like. Let her do a stint in jail
Absolutely.
for life.
You're 100% right.
By convincing her that you love her so much that she needs to do this for
Such
you.
an incredible point. You could literally come home and be like, "Hun, I killed 3 small children," and she would say, "Let's go get some shovels." She's insane.
I feel like I may have said it really early on in this podcast, but if you want to dispose of a body, and I heard this from a girl who said she took a forensics class in college, and their thesis at the end of the semester, not their thesis, but their final, was how do you dispose of a dead body?
Right.
And the best grade was someone who said, take it out in the ocean, cut it up into a bunch of little pieces, and disperse. So if Annalise is smart, she's not getting shovels.
She's getting a boat.
She's getting a 12-footer.
Yeah.
I'd like to add to that. I was on a jury for 6 months for this sexual harassment thing as a juror, not a defendant. And in the jury pool, one of the guys is a nice guy. He was a prison security guard, and we were just making small talk one day, and he said, the best way to dispose of a body is to get a vat and acid. Put the body in there, you melt the fucking shit down, then just drop it down your bathtub drain.
That's what they did in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it turns out that the 2 best ways of killing somebody have pretty significant barriers of entry. A 12-footer and a vat of acid, huh?
We're on the West Coast. You can find a boat pretty easily.
Yes.
My favorite part about her little speech was how she said she loved her soul.
Loved his soul.
Yeah, she loved his soul.
Loved his soul. You know nothing about each other. Like, I would love to see these 2 people in a newlywed game type scenario.
Oh my God.
They'd be like,
You've gone 0 for 7, Annalise. Let's try this one.
Annalise, your question was, where is Camille from? Annalise flips her card. Camille would be like, what? I'm not Armenian.
All right, we can say how
I'm
crazy.
not from Virginia, question mark. Of course she's batshit, but even crazier. Quite a twist. He says that he loves her too. I don't know why he said that, because ultimately, he shoots that whole ring thing right down. Pat?
I know you're ready for engagement, but right now I am not.
Patrick, I gotta say, and a little behind the curtain for the baby birds.
Okay.
He pulled Annalise's speech and added the cuckoo sound effect. I pulled his and added the Price is Right. So same page, brother.
Same page.
That's
same
why
page.
we're just the best in the business.
Annalise is the most insane person ever. But I have to say this. Either she has a fan group or some or other people are insane, because when they cut back to the studio after this exchange of these two numbskulls, women are crying. That would tell me that they're buying into this briefcase full of bullshit.
Like I talked about last week, it's like when you see, or a couple weeks ago, when you see a dog and it's pussy and it can't walk, you kind of go, oh.
And not to break the magic, but Mike Slight's Tears Fears, when you're in these audiences, as I have been.
Yeah. Toot.
Yep.
He's been to a live taping.
They really encourage you to ham it up with the facial expressions and emotions. And even, I saw in the crowd, you guys had to see it, a couple of Who Moved the Cheese t-shirts and a couple of Goose headbands. It made me regret so much not pushing harder to wear my I Don't Glam Shame t-shirt during that taping.
You absolutely should have.
I approached the producer. She got kind of intrigued, but she was like too low level and she got busy. Sorry, Lauren 3.
Okay, so an engagement is not happening. Annalise is okay with it because she can take solace in the fact that he's going to be ready in a couple weeks.
Yeah, he said, I want this love.
Jesus Christ.
He says he wants this love to blossom outside of paradise, and she was like, I completely agree. No, you don't. That is not how you wanted it to go down. Every line she said was a punchline. Production hates this woman.
I think she's totally fine with him not engaging in an engagement. I think, I'm not going to say Jesus Christ the way you just said. She is fine because she, in that cuckoo brain, genuinely thinks that it's not going to be that long until they get engaged. That's why she's fine with it. She says he'll be ready in a couple weeks, a couple months. I don't even think she hits the year measurement. Could be wrong, but fuck.
If he would have strung her along for a couple more months, he's completely ready by 2026.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it'll just keep stretching and stretching. But no chance to do that because they split. Not getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go to Jordan and Jenna. Now, as we discussed last episode, Jenna has reached a level of psychotic that is unprecedented. What she says tonight is, I'm filled with hatred. I'm filled with disappointment. I don't know what I can say, but hearing the story before watching this was, it was tough to watch, boys, because I knew Jordan was just getting pummeled with lies and deceit.
We all were. Dylan.
I think she's the greatest example of true sociopathy in our society since...
Joker?
Wait for it. No, that's a great cinematic.
She is the Joker.
That's the caricature of it.
Yeah.
That's the caricature.
Hitler?
Close. Well, since
Mao Zedong.
I love all these. But
James Jones?
I was going to say since, so it's relatively recently. I don't know much about James Jones. Sociopath?
Well, you used to fuck men in the ass and say, I'm taking your homosexual sin away. You can't have sex with any other men, but I can remove it from your asshole with my penis.
I thought the more narcissistic move, Dylan, was when he told 6-year-olds that they should drink purple Kool-Aid and poison themselves.
Jonestown Massacre.
Dylan, your sociopathy sounds like my Christianity, all right? Anyways, I was going to say the biggest sociopath of our society since O.J. Simpson. This man explains to you how to kill your wife and shit, and she is like enjoying this.
So enjoying it. She's soaking it all in, much like O.J., who it is so crazy when we were too young to really understand what was going on with O.J. Pat wasn't. But it is so, every black person must have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you? O.J. Simpson was in Get Out in the late 80s and early 90s. He was Get Out.
Yeah. Is that what that movie is based off of? That makes sense.
I think O.J. had a big part to play in the inspiration behind Get Out.
My biggest memory from that O.J. trial saga, because I was 8 years old at the time, my biggest memory is people making fun of the limo driver's testimonies. Does anybody remember this?
The limo ride to the airport after he killed his wife. Is that what you're referring to?
I mean, the limo driver, when he testified, he just sounded like a fool, I guess. Like, people were making fun of all, like, the detail. Like, he was weird and awkward. And
I'm only going to say this because I'm pretty sure limo drivers don't listen to this podcast. When you're driving a car around for a living, you're a loser.
There's some pretty intelligent Uber drivers out there in LA chasing their dreams, Patrick.
Fuck you. Larry David used to drive a taxi cab, okay? Maybe it's dormant genius you're sitting behind.
I drive Uber, dude. I'm not talking about like this stretch limo.
You don't drive Uber and you do cocaine. Can we just get that out of the way?
And
it's the
talk
last
about the
episode
show
of the season.
And talk about the show.
Fuck!
If we have to.
So Jenna says that she's never loved anyone the way that she loves Jordan. She also says that this is the first time she's ever been all the way in love. And then she says that if Jordan did not propose to her, her heart would be crushed. You're the fucking Joker. You are evil. Evil.
Dylan, that's just the first half of that. She also says she can't wait to start a family and that she taught him that love at first sight exists. There's a lot of bullshit coming out of that mouth.
Not bullshit. Believed in lies. This is a fucking gold medal mental gymnastics performance from her. God, I fucking hate her. They get engaged. I mean,
Not to mention that the concept of love at first sight is the shallowest thing possible.
well,
It's a purely physical attraction. You have to know someone's soul. And not the way Annalise knows Camille's.
agree to disagree. Let's move on. They get engaged, and we have to move on to another couple that does.
Evil Ben Stiller and Crazy Crystal.
Another couple that
Which
does
is
get
now,
engaged.
Lust at first sight exists.
EBS and KK.
Spoiler alert, they get engaged. Do we need to talk about this? I guess we do.
Can I throw something in there?
Yeah.
All right, so they've been teasing that there was a proposal on the proposal platform for a couple weeks out. And then they also they do a wide shot of Evil Ben Stiller wearing that ridiculous felt purple whatever jacket with a ring in front of it. So we knew for the last 3 weeks that the ring was coming out, and I thought that was stupid and bad editing.
ABC is just blatantly hands out spoilers left and right. It's incredible that every year, not only do we see what's going to happen in cutscenes and packages, information is leaked every fucking year. Reality Steve has a job because reality television is not locked down, and they don't care to be. And it's frustrating.
Do you think we could possibly stem the tide of this spoilers if we did an Al Qaeda-esque video where we sawed off Reality Steve's head?
Good luck with that. That head weighs about fucking 42 pounds. I was going to say his other job before giving the dish or the scoops is eating pizza. He is a fat motherfucker.
We don't like Reality Steve here.
You know who's not fat? Nick, do you have something to say?
Yeah, when they were in bed, when we first see Chris and Crystal, he brings her green juice, and she was like, "That's the way to my heart." Mm-hmm. I found it a little jarring that the way to seduce Crystal is just investing in a NutriBullet.
I think it was probably naked, and she probably tasted it, and she was like, "Oh.
Are you poisoning me with this sugar right now?
But
this has more sugar per ounce than Coca-Cola.
And
Coca-Cola can be used to clean a car engine. You're killing us and the world."
I completely agree with her. Anybody who drinks naked Green Machine is an absolute fool.
I used to. It's delicious, but it's candy.
It's candy.
It's a milkshake with candy. And
it's a green candy milkshake.
And it looks out of my ass how it looked when it came in your mouth.
Right, let's
one other thing that pissed me off.
Guys, we will talk about this show. I promise you. Oh, you're getting to the show right now. Great.
Specific thought about Crystal.
Okay.
Specific thought about Crystal I'm throwing out right now. Not a tangent.
Good.
Not a tangent.
Good.
Crystal said this was either going to be the best day of her life or the worst day of her life. I find this a little hard to believe that being
Right.
dumped by this chotch fob is going to be a harder day than finding out your brother is begging for food and possibly far, far worse just to survive under that unrelenting Venice Beach sun.
And his skin has been transformed permanently because of the consistent amount of burns he endures on a daily basis.
Hard days and nights of Abbott Kenny.
When Chris was talking about having some reservations, that brother had to be one of those reservations.
Well, don't we factor this later in, not to get ahead of ourselves, but he meets the family later on, and we get to see what her mother looks like. And,
Yeah,
oof.
okay, let's get there later. But I do have to talk about his proposal. He says, Kendall, excuse me. He says, Crystal, I'm sorry. I wanted to walk out of this place, not holding hands, but holding your heart. Now, this is from a stupid person. This is something a stupid person thinks is romantic. Luckily, he's talking to another stupid person, so it works flawlessly.
Hey. So this happened at minute 29.
Okay.
And that's when I realized that we would take that tumor-ridden dog.
Throw it right in the ocean.
I was going to say, around the barn.
Toss that
Dylan.
right in the wake.
And that joke has to hurt Patrick more than anybody.
Oh, that's so funny because Patrick's dogs just died.
Don't go further into it. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, God,
I
that
feel
was so
bad
brutal. He had this dog that was blind. He had to kill it.
Low-hanging fruit.
I love you, Spot. Love you, Spot.
Let's move on to the stash. Pat,
Yes, pal.
wipe your tears away and give us a roll call. Who's on the dais?
Okay, I know you. I knew you guys were going to do this.
God damn it!
No! What I am going to do is a roll call on everyone's name that got announced and got a cheer, and then the one person that got the boo.
Okay, so you're going to say a roll call less Leo.
Roll call! Leo gets booed. Everyone else gets cheered.
So I'm still upset, though. You don't have a roll call prepared.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I was going to put this in either way because I actually had confidence that you would have a roll call.
No, you didn't, because you doing this inherently means you were concerned that Pat wasn't going to have a roll call. And he doesn't have a roll call. What is your job, Patrick? Yell and provide us with names.
Well, luckily, I am prepared for this very instance. And I do, in fact, have a roll call.
Hit the
Patrick?
music.
Can I do it?
Yeah.
Hit the music! Roll call, Mick!
All in Angela, Chicken Man David, Desperate Single Mom Chelsea, French Canadian Benoit, Shoshana Shana Fofana Fee-Fi Fofana Shoshana, Pretty Boy Pitbull Kenny King, Leo the Sexually Aggressive Lion, Asian Venmo Kissing Bendit John, Bibiana Fana Fofana Fee-Fi Fofana Bibiana, Corinne Heaven Olivia, deep cut, Poor Weak-Jawed Annalise, Miracle Season Fuckboy All In Eric, Golden Retriever Jordan, Redneck Spillin' the Tia, Zero Personality so I make up for it with Loud Clothing Wills, Heartless Bitch Kendall, Fame Whore who is most likely lying about his virginity Colton. Also,
Yeah.
small request, can I do a roll call for the people who are gonna appear but haven't yet?
I guess.
8-Egg Omelet, Canadian Kevin, Immaculate Astrid, EBS Ron Perlman, Donkey for Shrek, Chris, Crazy Crystal, Judas Jenna, 6040 says he's Polish, probably Armenian Camille, Grocery Store Joe.
I don't know why you thought you were going to get through these.
That was super close. Why do you have to pick nits, you prick? I'm doing a service for the show. One more roll call. People who don't come on the show at all.
Roll call!
Coked Out Robbie Hayes, Hardwood Ho Cassandra, Kiwi Coin Flip Jordan, Vanishing Jubilee, Too Smart to Be on the Show Jacqueline, Ringo, Gecko, Tracksuit Nick, Nisha the Nurse, Can't Handle the Heat Carolyn, Too Many Shoes, Icky Diggy, JJ Lane, Wannabe with a bottle of Fireball in his back pocket Connor.
Good job. That one was better.
I was up till 4 a.m. last night.
Okay.
Well done. I mean, I don't even think we need to finish the show. I mean, he laid it out there, though.
Before we get to the people on the dais, we have to look back on the most dramatic season of all time. Kidding, we absolutely don't.
But they have.
We've seen the show. Whoa, hey guys. John is trying to get with Olivia and Chelsea? Wild bomb dropped, right?
We
At
have
the top.
Dylan, we have a clip of that. Let me give some notes prior to this. All right, so they start off hot with the laying in here, which I was like, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing. But listen to this clip once John's confronted about getting his hand in the pussy cookie jar.
Pussy cookie jar. I like it.
Pussy cookie jar. Ugh.
I've never been in a long-distance relationship before, and for me, I felt like our different lifestyles couldn't make that work right now.
But then when I saw that you were like publicizing that you were developing other relationships, and that was with Chelsea, that you were like FaceTiming her, and that could have been time that you were FaceTiming me. I guess that was a slap in my face.
Next up, bloopers. They never actually get to this. That's how that segment ends. He gets basically caught lying or trying to get some other pussy, and we never hold him to the fire. Why is that, Bachelor Nation? Why, producer? Why, Lauren? 1, 2, 3, 4.5, 4.7, Lauren. What the fuck? Do you guys agree? They just glossed over that.
Nobody gives a fuck about Asian John. Like, why?
I think more specifically, people don't give a fuck about
Chelsea and Olivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear Chelsea talk. So they just move on.
It did just prove how ruthless Chelsea is. She went real hard.
Chelsea is such a fucking succubus. She is horrible.
She is trying to Amanda Stanton it, and she is not doing a great job.
Chelsea will end up in jail. She will end up in jail, and we won't get it in the pages because it will not be written about.
I will say this, and I know this makes me a shallow misogynist pig. With Olivia with the less aggressive hair, God, is she gorgeous. Oh, John, Asian John.
The less aggressive hair? What? I thought it was the same hair. What are you talking about?
No, she did a whole new hair thing. Beautiful face is exposed. Really? Oh, she looks gorgeous.
Olivia, I agree. She had these beautiful braids, very elegantly styled.
Oh, huh.
Makeup was on point. Obviously, some gay guy was doing that for her.
Right. Thank God for the gays.
Diggy and that trumpeter were watching back home in Chicago, just fuming.
Yeah. Hey, let's get to Eric. Once again, he cannot admit that. I don't know whether he cannot admit or he actually believes this line of bullshit, but he just cannot admit that he left Angela because she would not fuck him. That is the only reason. That is the only reason. And she, shame on you. Like, you're too stupid to figure this out. Like, how do you not see that he made multiple advances, you turned them all down, and after that, he left you?
Well, all right. So my biggest issue is, maybe getting ahead of myself if you guys want to discuss this further, she forgives him for some goddamn reason on stage. Maybe it's thinking I'm going to be the bigger person. Just say, hey, you're an idiot. And your explanation when I was in front of you explaining why it didn't work out is stupid. After I left, it was stupid when you were talking to Cassandra. Now you're on a stage. You've had time to see yourself and come up with a better lie, and you're still an idiot.
And then she says, why didn't you come to me before you went on a date? And his explanation is, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, that's the heartless.
What? And then she forgives him.
I think she is just genuinely nice. That's the problem. Like,
yeah.
I don't agree with what she did, but she seems like a sweet girl. And I don't know, maybe I haven't said this. Maybe I'm breaking news to you two fellas. You know who she's dating from this most Becca Kufrin season?
Clayton!
Clay Harbor.
Clay? Oh, got it.
Former NFLer.
Got a type.
And they
you know what? I can't help. I didn't read a lot of books as a kid, but of Mice and Men, the guy reminds me of Lenny a little bit. You know what I mean? Kind of the giant, nice guy.
A little afflicted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, when you're breaking little mice neck, is it mice's neck?
Meese.
When you're breaking meese necks left and right, and then you break a woman's neck, you may need to be put down. Right?
Solid point. My last.
Well, but piggybacking on that, wouldn't it be so terrible to just be nice?
How are you piggybacking on yourself?
Could you imagine walking through life the way Angela does and Clay? Nice.
It's weird. It's weird. My final thought on this whole scene, what should have been super tense, was ruined by Angela's lav mic aggressively rubbing against her dress. Did you guys hear that?
I think I did.
It was. You guys are looking at me.
That was your final point?
You guys are looking at me crazy, but watch it back.
Okay. Let's move on to Benoit and Jordan and Jenna, the whole fucking thing. Benoit is confronted by Jordan, and Jordan says, you surrendered, which is something you brought up in the past. The French are wont to do.
Yeah, they do it every fucking time. They're always asking for our help, those goddamn bread makers. By the way, I was thinking of stuff that I'm not going to be buying anymore from those fucking French assholes. French doors, first on my list.
Okay, Pat, do we have a clip or something?
No.
Okay.
Hey. This is one thing. All right, so I thought America loved Jordan, especially in that audience. Benoit, that horrible, smelly Frenchman, says he gets a clap because he accuses Jordan of comparing women to food, which was a joke. It's Jordan-esque. It's a Jordan thing.
Yeah.
And then why is the audience clapping for the Frenchman?
You can't concern yourselves with what a pack of hyenas finds morally right.
I wish Jordan, I liked his point about you don't even have a woman, but I wish he would have elaborated. Hey, you don't speak for women. Maybe women like to be desired. Maybe women like to feel sexy, okay? So it's playful. It's fun when I'm calling them the snack that smiles back, goldfish.
Well, I think that's gross, but I do think that you can kind of maybe scrub past that and just find that Jordan's great. I feel bad about the hyena comment. So let's move on to Colton and Tia.
Ugh.
Let's move past Colton and Tia. Dave and Jordan. Do we want to talk about this? I mean,
I just thought it was kind of cute, even though I still hate David.
I don't think it's cute. I want them to fight eternally.
They make up, but every beef needs to come to an end.
No, that's not true. Greatest beef ever, Peter and the chicken. They fight all the time. That's what I want this rivalry to be.
If you don't mind, just going back for 1 second, digress. The Tia Colton thing, I appreciate that they kept their moment in the sun or whatever on the show, like for less than 45 seconds. Tia kissed the ring. It was so obvious. Her saying she understood the breakup, what happened, and she's realized it's one of those things where it's like, if I need to be relevant, I need to like basically say, hey, Gordon, I need to say,
what are you doing?
I need to say, Colton, enjoy your journey finding love.
Okay,
so quick.
Let's move on to Astrid and Kevin. But before we get to them, let's take a look back at their relationship. Kidding. Let's move.
You keep getting me with those.
I think it's so weird. Like, I didn't care to unpack whatever was going on inside his head when he broke up with Astrid, because it was just stupid. And honestly, I didn't understand why, because Astrid's perfect and she should be the next Bachelorette. But he comes out on stage, and I think I understand him a little bit more. I think maybe he's just like a sweetheart, and I think maybe he felt really bad about taking Ashley's virginity. And I don't know if this is a hot take. I may be walking into something. You guys let me know. He felt bad about taking the virginity card. He's so nice. Even though she cheated on him, he feels that he shouldn't have done that, and he's scarred by that.
That's like a medium. That's a room temp take.
First off,
I can't do this. I can't be in this game. I got to just find my own route because I can't come up with hot takes.
Can I just say this?
Good hosting.
How do you know that he took Ashley I's virginity?
He has to have.
No.
Patrick.
He's insinuated it heavily. He said,
I need a public statement.
He said at one point he was a monumental part of her dating history.
Yeah.
That could only mean one thing.
Yeah.
He gave her the Kevin D.
Kevin Dick?
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
Kevin crushed it. He did a really good job just kind of quote unquote winning her back. Your brow's furrowed right now.
Yeah. So we're coming into this show thinking that he broke her fucking heart. He sits down on the fucking stage. Can I play a clip of this idiot?
Of course you can.
Let the jury decide.
She's one of the coolest people I've ever met. She has qualities that none of you know about that are incredible, and she
Taking that Kevin D.
Are you in love with her?
I'm definitely madly in love with her.
Are you in love with him?
Long pause.
I am.
Then there is hope.
You know,
Fuck this! All right,
my
I'm putting
favorite
this on.
part
No,
about that-
shut up! I gotta say this. Baby birdies, you mark this time right now. 30 days. No, I gotta give myself a little time. 45 days from the day that this episode drops, they will announce breakup. There's no way they will announce a breakup. This guy's a scumbag. He's a sociopath. This guy's one of the worst. Dylan, I can't believe you're buying into this bag of bullshit. No way. This guy's a liar. Oh, his heart was so broken in the fantasy. So who's ever been traumatized by having sex with a chick?
Patrick, you're a dog.
No.
You're a scoundrel.
Okay.
A rapscallion.
You're
What's
a
that?
You're a rapscallion. You're a hardwood hoe. Maybe he's got a different heart than you, Patrick. Maybe he actually does feel trauma for taking an innocent girl's virginity and then not being with her for the rest of her life.
I feel like there's way less instances of sociopathy above the border in our
totally
from our neighbors to the north.
Not true at all.
Except for that one guy who was in that episode of what's that creepy podcast, Sword and Scale. The only episode I've ever listened to is about a Canadian gentleman who kidnapped an innocent Asian child and tortured him and mutilated him on camera, and then...
It was a girl, actually. Yeah, they did multiple people. I was going to say the other story, the other Canadian who convinced his girlfriend to have sex with her little sister and then put so many drugs in her that she never woke up and then went to sleep and died, and then he killed 2 other people.
Right, and then there's no bigger sociopath than that Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, who keeps telling our dear leader to fuck off.
People talk shit about me watching the Bachelor franchise. Fuck people who listen to Sword and Scale and shit like that, even though it's probably crosses over with our audience quite a bit.
No, seriously, if you listen to that shit, F you. F you.
It's weird. It's sick.
That Mike Boudet, he's a creep. He's a creep, and all that stuff is way too gross. Why do you want to hear about that?
Heard he cheated on his wife.
Okay.
I've never been in the Saw movies, any of that shit. It's perverse.
We're going to cut this out, right?
No, we're leaving it in.
Oh, okay.
Grocery Joe and Kendall. Let's talk about them, but first, let's take a look back. Kidding. A tragic misunderstanding
3 for 3
led to one of the most heartbreaking breakups of all time. Kendall... one, that's a hell of a euphemism, Chris. A tragic misunderstanding it was not. Kendall is very good at realizing she's made a mistake seconds after she makes them. She talks about how she felt horrific as soon as he walked away. She knew that she made a mistake. Also, the second she kissed Leo, she realized that she had made a mistake. Also, the second she kissed John, she realized she had made a mistake. Maybe you're just not good enough for old grocery store Joe. You don't deserve those pizzas.
Or watermelons.
Now, I've called her a hoe, and I'm gonna walk that back a little bit.
Yes, you should.
Because maybe that's not fair.
It's not.
But I don't like when people play with other people's hearts. I will say this. As I've said on previous podcasts, I think she was an ugly younger person and then fell into her own in her early 20s.
Yep.
This is your prime going out, fuck time, dating.
Yes.
Do all your random hookups, get all your random fucking, all your lying out of your way, and then you find your partner, and then you don't lie to them and be a good spouse.
And she is timid enough to be able to move past that, but she also has that strange, like, stuffing animals thing about her, so she may want to dip her toes into that world. So she's torn and thus indecisive, thus breaking Grocery Joe's heart because he had a normal, boring Midwestern upbringing. Do you guys have thoughts on this?
I think we all had a problem with why is there a camera crew when she followed him to Chicago?
How much did that cost, and how big of a zero was that conversation?
One of 2 things happened there. Most likely, she informed production she was going to do this, just like Ari informed production he was going to break up with Becca when they thought they were filming a honeymoon package. So they brought him out there, they filmed it. Or 2, this one's like, I don't know. They planned it together and they put it in that room and filmed themselves pretty high quality. The reason I say this is because there was huge echo coming off those glass windows. The audio did not sound like the general Bachelor production, but maybe they did that intentionally to have a juxtaposition between their professional production and this guerrilla.
You're right though, because like, what would Grocery Store Joe ever be doing in a building like that?
Yeah,
ever.
He's like, I've never been up this high before.
They were like, Joe, we're going to do this in a place. We're going to have Kendall approach you in kind of your normal location. So where would that be? Over down there at the grocery store. Okay, let's go. And then they walk in and they're just like, this is harsh. Everything's bruised. Nothing's fresh. You haven't been back in a long time. We've got to get to a different location. And he said, okay, let's go to the diner I eat at. And they went there and whew. Everything was soaked in grease. People were talking about their hatred for Jews and homosexuals. And they said, hey, let's hop on over to a building we've got around the corner.
And that's how we ended up in Lauren's room. Hey, I will say this. Producer Lauren, sorry. Let me say this. Joe, your parents or your upbringing or whatever happened to you, kid, you got everything that could make the best Bachelor. America loves you. As we are doing this podcast, we already know that he is on Dancing with the Stars.
Right.
The looks, the charm, the being real, it's all there. Just a better grasp of the English language.
I just don't think that he's one for the drama as is required of The Bachelor. You need to be open to being a liar, and I don't think those things.
I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. He can have a shitty vocabulary and also just not understand.
Those two things are mutually exclusive. But it is funny to think about, like, what would the ratings be if Grocery Store Joe was The Bachelor?
Through the fucking roof.
I bet way better than Colton's.
Oh, people hate Colton. Again, the fact that Colton was sidelined during this entire... This is normally when you hype up your next Bachelor.
Absolutely.
This episode should have ended with, let's meet your next 5 girls they're going to see in 4 months or 3 months.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, which makes me think, baby birdies, hold on, let me talk. They could get some dirt on Colton before then and now and go, no, actually it is going to be Scott Baio, or now it is going to be some guy from 4 seasons earlier. Maybe Peter. And you'd love that, Dylan. Colton is going to say, I say this right now, he will be the worst Bachelor. He will give you just, milk toast or whatever?
Milk toast, yeah.
That's what he's going to be.
Anyways, the epitome of Joe was summed up when he came out to that raucous applause, and he was just like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I didn't ask for this.
Maybe this is a hot take. And
I'm rooting for you.
If I swing and miss here, I promise I will back out of the hot take game forever. Until I think that I've really, really got one. But anyways, here it is. Do we think that Kendall assessed her standing in this world and realized that Grocery Store Joe in the social media world, in the zeitgeist, was the perfect person to hitch your wagon to?
Absolutely. I think your first thing, how she backed away because of his boring Midwestern upbringing, was but then she said she immediately realized her mistake when she goes home to blowing up Sochmeads, him being America's sweetheart.
Yep, absolutely. So was that hot?
I think pretty textbook, to be honest.
You wouldn't burn yourself on it, but
I was cresting Mount Olympus right there.
Doesn't mean it's not a bad point, or doesn't mean it's a bad point at all.
No, we're not looking for good points. We're looking for hot takes. They're evasive. I can't snag one. Okay, let's move on and talk about Chelsea, who, I don't know if you guys got this, but when they were talking about how in love they were, it panned up to Chelsea's face, and she was pissed. She was so mad about all this love going around. Her face looked like inside her head she was thinking, I will burn this entire place to the ground
if that's what it takes to feed my child.
Yeah, what do we think about Dancing with the Stars? I'm sad that he's doing it. I think it's the place where people go to die, and
I mean, for him, I feel like this is going to be like kind of a crowning achievement.
I don't think we'll ever hear anything from Grocer Joe ever again after this season of Dancing with the Stars.
And everything we know about him, he won't care.
Right. Right, but I want more of him.
Is Dancing with the Stars completely fan vote?
No,
Does
it's
anybody
judges
know?
and
No,
then
it's
fan
judges
votes, I
and
think,
fans.
save. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
American Idol and America's Got Talent. Let me say this. I mentioned this on the last podcast, but I will say it again. Becca, I can't say her last name. The Bachelor.
Kufrin.
Kufrin.
Why
can't you
she
say her
has to
last
be
name?
home watching this and like reaching into the TV and like screaming like I should be on Dancing with the Stars. How did I get overtaken and sidelined and let Grocer Joe take my spot?
It is so insane to think about that these people, the Bachelor and the Bachelorette, are the tip of the spear of the franchise. They are the people that America is watching. And then after their season, the rest of the people who they did not pick just bubble up and completely overtake them. And they have to be at home. You're 100% right. She's sitting next to Garrett. He's mouthing off about how the fucking leftist psychos are taking over the world. And she's thinking, what have I gotten myself into? We're planting tomatoes. I don't care about that rose bush. It's dying.
One of your undocumented employees better start watering that damn thing.
Solid point. Now, when we had Icky Iggy, not in this studio, but I did a show with him, Icky Iggy, I had to sit next to this
Name
guy.
drop.
Really? Is that a name drop? I'll tell you what. I hung out with a homeless guy earlier today. Name drop. Way more bigger.
What's
than
his name?
Big. Ted. Anyway, Icky Iggy came
are you
in here,
doing with
and I
Ted?
said, "Hey,
TED
Icky
Talks?
Iggy." Icky Iggy came in here, and I said, "Icky Iggy." I actually called him Iggy. I was like, "Hey, what's new for you?" He's like, "Well, pretty much we got like a 2-year shelf life, and then after that, I got to go back to work or something." I was like, "Oh, there you go. Yeah, just having fun." He's like, "Yeah, just having fun."
A little
go.
self-awareness just bumped Icky Iggy up in my book. It's all relative, though.
What if, like, I was just thinking about how funny it would be if this guy Ted, just a random Ted, like marketed that he was going to have a TED Talk, and he just blatantly stole the marketing of TED Talks.
He would probably have a leg to stand on if that is his name, but he would still be in a vicious lawsuit. TED Talks are litigious.
Yeah, but he's just like in a Studio City auditorium talking to people about how they should join his cult.
These TED Talks are, I'm a fan. They're really getting watered down. You got like idiots up there now for 18 minutes talking about like their favorite flavor of ice cream.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They have
Honestly,
jumped.
like,
They've jumped the shark.
I don't care about how the maple syrup industry is changing friendship in Toronto. Like,
I want to know how communities are going to be in 2045. That's like the shit it started with.
yeah, everybody knows Pixar is good at telling stories. Okay.
Water's wet and Annalise is desperate.
Yeah, I'll say some oceanfront property in Glendale. Okay.
What? That's not for obvious stuff. That's for
I'm gonna
gullible
move
people.
on.
Busting my ball.
No, I'm not. In summation, they are together, and God knows what's going to happen to these two. Do we have an over/under?
I'm going to just say the same timeline I had with Ari and Nick Viall and Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be about 6 weeks after his Dancing with the Stars run. She's not going to jeopardize anything to be in that front row.
Got it.
So they're going to wait it out. I'm saying December-ish. Or that probably starts pretty soon. Probably early February.
I want to say, Nick, you were the closest to that.
Yeah.
Vanessa and Nick lasted till about the
Absolutely.
end of the year.
But it seems like everything's pushed back a little bit right now. How long is Dancing with the Stars? Early February. I'm sticking with it.
Let's move on to Annalise and Camille. They bring this nut job down and talk to her about what's happened so far this season. And she says insane shit. Do you guys want to talk about it?
She says they're in a good spot. That's mistake number one.
She was really trying to massage and do a slower exit. She knew the end was imminent, but
No, she did not.
She didn't see that coming.
No, she did
she
not.
didn't see it. Think it was going to happen on the show at all. But the way she talked about the relationship was much slower. She's like, no plans for engagement, but like we're like confident.
Oh, Nick, what I thought you were alluding to was the fact that in the back of her head, she knew that she'd been putting 90% and he'd only been putting in 10, which comes up later. But she's sitting on that stage, smiling, glaring at the audience, and Harrison saying, "We're in a great spot."
But it's like it's way backed off from everything she said about, yes, we're going to get married, absolutely. I know it's going to be a couple weeks. She's all saying, like, oh, we're putting those plans on hold, but we're good, we're good.
You're saying that she can see the guillotine coming down.
Yes, not tonight.
I don't think she sees it at all.
No, she doesn't think Camille would do that to her on national television. She knows she's getting dumped. Not tonight.
No, I don't think she knows she's getting dumped.
Well, no, but she said she's had a conversation with him earlier in the week saying, just dump me now, or 2 weeks earlier, just dump me now. That all comes out later in the episode. But the fact that she's sitting here on the stage, I agree with Nick. She's like, because when this fucker... getting ahead of myself. When he dumps her on live TV, she is completely taken aback, did not see this coming. He looked like an asshole. She looked like a desperate, fucking insane person. Everyone looked bad.
Yeah. He comes out, and Chris Harrison asks, how is Paradise? And, he says, how are things now? And Camille says, not quite like Paradise.
I know Annalise is ready for a guy, like, to get down on one knee right now and get engaged. And you deserve the best. And I think I might not be the guy for you.
Yours was good too.
I hope he didn't rehearse this, because if he rehearsed this speech that he was about to give on TV, fire yourself as a writer, or put,
tough to do, but you need to
ask your buddies, like, hey, this is what I'm going to say on the show to break up with her. What do you think? And everyone would say, bad idea.
It's really fucked up. If he did this to anyone else, I would think he was an asshole. But I just think this is fucking hilarious. When she is crying backstage, I know it's fucked up, but I was laughing pretty hard.
It can seem like we're piling on, but I just feel like at every turn she really, really brings it on herself. And yeah, to me, this was comedic television.
I was laughing. Like, people like show me shit and like I watch shit that's supposed to be funny and I just don't laugh. Like, I don't laugh really ever. I was laughing pretty fucking hard when she was crying backstage.
I also laughed when he was like, oh great, I'm gonna look like a fucking douchebag on national TV again.
Yes, you did.
Gentlemen, what is the upside of this guy who's not a dummy, or we don't know enough about him to say that about him? What is the upside of doing this?
I think he's just a little thick, as the Brits would say, and I think he was pushed into doing this by production.
Absolutely, and I'm
hot take.
That's a hot take, and I'm going to turn the heat up a notch. I think they may have even compensated him somehow to do so, because like, you have to know you're going to be looked down upon to do this.
I don't agree with that.
That's what makes a hot take.
Although, gentlemen,
fuck you.
You have a better grasp of the English language than I do. Than I do. Obviously, this guy. Shit. I gotta stop drinking.
It is 1:30 on a Friday.
Yeah, go.
PM.
This fucker obviously is not from America, or doesn't, and maybe English is his second language. Anyway, someone could have coached him up to sit on that couch and find a better way of dumping her. You can dump someone on a couch in front of America, but it's what's in the devil's in the details of the content. Maybe it's been a tough go. The cameras are there. I was overwhelmed. I really like her, but I need more time. Bam! You're done. And if you dump her on Instagram,
I don't know.
Later,
I don't think that there's any way to pull this off. It always looks bad if you're going to wait to do this in front of a live studio audience. There's no way to be duped into doing this. You're going to look bad every time.
I will say the only savvy move Annalise made, and it wasn't even intentional, was mentioning her Airbnb.
Right.
Airbnb tweeted out that they were like, hey, Annalise, sorry to hear what happened, but we've got a place to stay for you and your friends all week.
Oh, that's so fun.
That's nice.
And a great marketing maneuver by that tweet blew up for Airbnb.
Airbnb is a global hospitality brand.
I mean,
that's insane to think about. They're just everywhere.
And I did find it funny that after that genius marketing ploy, a bunch of replies under that tweet were just a bunch of complaints about their horrible customer service. So proceed with caution.
I've literally never had a problem with Airbnb.
I have.
If the house owner wants to fuck you, like, I feel like you can get screwed. But most people are good.
Oh,
think so.
you know what? I have had one problem with Airbnb. We went to Patrick's bachelor party, and we were told that we were going.
Where was it?
Oh, it was in Santa Barbara.
You were there, Nick, you fucker.
I know. I didn't think he was going to get there, but he was going to get there.
Your memory is a little hazy, too.
Oh, yeah, I blacked out that night.
But we were told that we were going to Santa Barbara for a bachelor party. The house was not in Santa Barbara. It was in, what?
Goleta. Wherever the fuck that is.
Strippers wouldn't even come out there.
That's true.
Yeah, Pat said we're going to have ring toss girls. I said, what are ring toss girls? He said, it's when you shove a wooden pole at a girl's ass to throw rings. And I started to tear up.
But you were ready for it nonetheless. You were like, I'm going to man up.
I was not ready for it.
But you were like, I'm going to man up and go.
Hey. Can I get us back on track here? This is a hot take. Because, Dylan, take notes. This is a real hot take, dude. All right. Sure, production could have paid Camille to break up with a girl on national TV and become basically a douchebag forever.
Yep.
Or he has a model girlfriend on the side that basically told him, like, hey, you need to go on here. She probably have an Italian accent or something because she's super hot.
Do it.
And say, hey.
Do the accent.
Okay, all right. Nah, I can't do it. Fuck. She said, hey, you got to go on that show and tell her, that weird guy that's been hosting way longer than he should, and America, that you don't want any part of this, and that's why he didn't get to be in that Airbnb with her. Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Well,
that's a hot take.
That's
Dylan.
a hot take, Dill.
I don't think so. I think we have different definitions of hot take.
Odd.
I think I'm the king of this game now.
Real strong opinion coming from a rookie.
Guys, I know that Camille comes across as an asshole. I know that he's kind of a douchebag. I know that he offers really nothing to humanity, but I mean, can we blame him? She comes out and she's like, I got your mom flowers. I bought you a ticket from New York. I'm giving 90%. And I wanted him to be like, that's why I'm breaking up with you. I once dated a girl who, after 3 weeks, took me grocery shopping. And yes, I accepted the free groceries because there were a lot and they were very expensive. But I thought the entire time, this woman is fucking insane.
I think that's an adorable date.
No, way too soon.
Did you sleep with her before that? Give her a little bit of the Dylan D.
Nice.
Ugh. Before we move on, let's just show the attempted burn that Annalise makes.
I literally tried to break up with you like 2 weeks ago, and
Yes,
you said,
bitch.
I
Yes.
don't want to lose you, and I'm going to fight for you.
And I did, and I have been.
No, you have not.
Yes, I have.
I said to you, I've been giving 90 and you've been giving 10. And you said, I'm going to step it up.
And I have been
you
trying
not
to.
Stepped it up. I sent your mom flowers.
You have.
I booked your flight back to New
You
York.
have. You have. And we do
And you're
things
sitting
together.
here breaking up with me in front of everyone.
I'm not trying to do it because I'm not trying. It's just,
No,
it doesn't
no,
feel
you're
right.
saying you're not trying.
It doesn't feel right, Annalise. Like, this is what my heart's telling me right now, and I'm at a loss for
No,
words.
I get that your heart is telling you that. It's how you're doing this right now.
And I wish I wasn't doing it like this. Honestly.
You are, though. You are.
All right. Annalise.
It's crazy when she's the one that's coming off as the sane individual.
A trope of this show is when someone's heart's been broken and they're left on a stage, and then all the hanger-oner friends need to run up and hug that person.
Yeah, the boogies.
All right, so as that was happening, she's crying.
The dingleberries.
Olivia runs up. Kendall runs up, and I'm like, where's Tia? Why is Tia not doing it? Oh, there's Tia. There's Tia. She's been downgraded to a side friend now.
Yeah, we're not going to see much of Tia anymore.
Spilling the Tia.
Guys, special announcement, Special announcement, gentlemen. All right, so I watched the show alongside you guys with Annalise. As you know, it didn't work out with Kenny, didn't work out with Asian John. Now it didn't work out with Camille, and then we married her to a gopher. The last episode.
Right.
As you know, I'm in the tech world. We have an app.
By tech, do you mean that you drive Uber?
That's well. I work with guys that work with computers that create stuff. Our newest venture is a dating site called VDate, and it's called Vacuums Need Love Too. Recently, we've got Annalise on a date with a vacuum cleaner. They fell in love, and love a third time. 3, 4 doesn't work out. Maybe the 5th does. Anyway, I'm going to marry him right now. Here we go. Annalise, do you take a vacuum to be your lawfully unwedded husband? Yes. Vacuum. Do you take Annalise to be your wife through sickness, lint roller blockage, and electrical failure? I think that's a yes. I now pronounce you vacuum and wife. You may kiss the bride.
I'd love to hear the honeymoon suite later that night.
Anyways, you guys want to talk about Jordan and Jenna? Initial thoughts on this? I don't have any. I've just got vision board written down.
Oof.
Just specifically for me, the name Tucker really makes me reminisce about an old Hey Arnold episode.
Uh-huh.
He was on the basketball team with the coach's son, who happened to be named Tucker.
Yeah.
And
was Tucker good?
Tucker was great on the floor. He was almost a flawless basketball player, but the team strategy was bad because the coach's dad, the only philosophy they had was pass it to Tucker, pass it to Tucker, pass it to Tucker.
Yeah.
It was really repetitive throughout the episode, but it turned out Tucker's Achilles heel was he could not shoot free throws, while Hey Arnold was zen and shot free throws underhand and never missed, and he had to teach Tucker, despite being ravaged by Tucker's role on the team and not getting to play, he still taught Tucker how to shoot free throws, and he started by telling him how many points were on the basketball. Classic episode.
So
they had a wedding June 9th, huh?
His name's not Hey Arnold. It's just Arnold.
Did I keep saying?
Yeah, you said his name was Hey Arnold. It's not Arnold, but it's not Hey Arnold. It's Arnold. But it does
Move it, football head.
It does remind me of Will Ferrell's kicking and screaming when the only directive from Will Ferrell, the head coach, was pass to the Italians, and the Italians did well with the ball they scored. Let's get on to the vision board.
Do you think Will Ferrell stole from Hey Arnold?
No, but I will say that Jenna really, really peeved me because one, she wrote Tucker down. She knows that Jordan hates that name, but we know that Jenna doesn't care about Jordan's feelings. But also, she spelled Beau completely wrong. B-O-W? That's not how you spell Beau. It's B-E-A-U or B-O. B-O-W is bow.
Are we talking about like a bow tie?
Oh.
Because you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Or let's put a bow on it. What was the quote? What was the context?
The name of the child was Beau, and that's not how you spell Beau when you're naming a child.
Well, a name you can spell any way you want.
No, your name isn't N-I-C. What if you met another Nick and his name was it's spelled N-I-C? You'd be like, what kind of fucking idiots were your parents? My parents were schizo. They're not as dumb as yours.
Hey, fun fact about my name. It was different on my birth certificate and driver's license. One has an H, one doesn't. It has really gotten complicated when I start switching states for IDs and such.
Yeah, and I hate to step on Dylan's dick here, but I also know someone named Nick, spelled N-I-C, and it's a rich Jewess living up in Mulholland in the hills.
A Jewess? Mm-hmm. Is that like a Jewish princess?
Yes.
Often Italians also will be N-I-C because they're Nicola.
All right, fuck you guys. Let's move on to Jordan and Jenna. Let's get back to Jordan and Jenna. Yes, they have a wedding on June 9th. And, it's just crazy. She says that she never wants to live without him. And I thought it was really funny that they keep cutting to Benoit, who is absolutely devastated. His face is so long and so sad. He looks like a Rutabaga mask.
That might be part of what was going on there is what Nick mentioned, having been an audience member, which is you'll get more camera time the more expressive faces you make for stupid shit.
Ham it up, baby birds, if you ever get in there.
Let's move on to the Goose and Crystal, can we?
Sure, I was going to say Jordan said he was 28 and he wants to have a baby slide in the oven before the end of the year
Insane.
or something. 28 years old was the most insane part. He looks at it like he's at least 34.
I think he's even 26 and he wanted the baby by 28.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. Too much sun. You got to wear SPF.
It was also pretty graphic the way he described impregnating her, sliding that baby like into the oven. I understand the term bun in the oven, but Jesus.
It brought to my mind who's that guy that put things in the oven all the time?
Gordon Ramsay.
God, who is it?
What are you doing? Chris and Crystal. Anyways, I don't care about them.
I don't either.
I don't care about them. But I did think it was so funny that they teased that they were going to go meet her actual family. It's far too fractured and sad to show on camera. Seeing her family would be like the Josiah's apartment of families, you know? Could you imagine her mother, who thinks Gustafsson is spelled G-O-O, and her brother, who looks like a couch but is a human?
I think she realized it was a homophone and then a homonym.
It's Gustafsson. Just because her maiden name was Gustafsson doesn't mean that they're destined. No, they're destined to be together.
Gustafsson.
It's G-U. It's not G-O-O. It's G-U. It's not G-O-O.
That's
you're
why
you're grasping at straws. They're gonna fucking break up in 6 months.
Do I have to explain homophone and homonym to you? One is the same spelling. One is just the same sound.
Okay. All right.
Whatever, smarty.
Amazing with somebody with such a grasp of words has such a difficulty saying them.
It is weird. I get mush mouth. Brendan Schaub, same way.
He's a great guy, and so are you. That's pretty much it. No, it's not. I have more.
The mothers are in the audience.
Right, they are. But I don't know.
I felt like it explained a lot what happened to these two.
Oh, yes, it did, Nick. Yes, it did. We have two mothers in there. One's heavily tattooed. I'm not sure whose mother that was. But the fact that there's no dads in the picture, I think, is
well, yeah,
leaning.
Chris, even despite many attempts at outreach to his father, was abandoned numerous times. So I don't know what happened to Crystal's father, but
he fucking moved to Florida and never called her and sent a Christmas card with $5 in it,
which I'm sure triggered that psychopathy in the brother.
Guys, this is pretty much the end. But before Chris and Crystal leave,
I kind of like these two. That's all I'm gonna say.
Chris Harrison has I don't like him. Chris Harrison has a gift for them in the form of a crystal goose, which is pretty crazy now that I say about it. Crystal goose. But he also has a gift for America. That's bloopers. Do we want to talk about them at all?
Maybe do we want to go out on them? Just a thought.
No, absolutely
okay.
not.
They were the worst bloopers ever.
Angela
you're getting into the oceans knocking you over.
Angela getting caught on fire was funny. Also, the disingenuous conversation, that was good.
John and Olivia, the seatbelts.
Yeah, a lot of seatbelt footage, and I wrote that down sarcastically, and it makes me sad that you thought that was actually funny because it was not.
Well, because I was just picturing the red tape. They're like, no, we can't leave. It's in the contract. We can't have you ride in this car without seatbelts. Right. So they're like, we got to do it.
There were like militiamen in the front seat with guns pointed at them like, get the seatbelts on.
And that will cause nerves in one, which will only make it harder to operate.
Anyways, that's the end of the season. That's the end.
I feel bad because I want to end on this super. The episode as a whole is a high note, but this show really it kind of winded down.
Petered out.
Totally did. It happens every year. I will say bravo to ABC for making us care as much as we did about this show this season because we did not come close to this level of entertainment last year. We just didn't. Last year was coal compared to this Christmas present we got in summer.
May I remind the audience, they didn't even show the last episode of this franchise on the actual network last year. That's how good it was this year. They kept it not in the deep annals of like the 500s.
Yeah, I will say Monday night's episode did get booted in favor of the Raiders and the Rams, but
Only in our time zone.
oh, got it. That's the end of the season, guys. We cannot thank you enough for listening throughout the entire 5-week run.
God, it seemed like longer.
Oof. Hey, can I give a call to action?
Yes, of course.
Hey, baby birds, in the off season for this particular franchise, share it with your coworkers, people that you know that have the same sense of humor as you, so then you can talk about us together. It will give you a common ground when you're bored staring at each other across from a lunch table. You go, hey, wasn't that funny what Dylan said? Or wasn't that interesting what Nick brought up? And Pat, that guy, he screams too much. I'm still looking for you, you bitch. It's still 4 stars.
She's never going to switch to 4 stars if you keep chastising her like this.
Okay, all right. Anyway, the point is, share this motherfucker, because the more we grow, we'll maybe expand it to multiple episodes a week. But if you don't do it, we're not. It's just going to be once a week, and we'll get it on Sunday at 3 in the morning or some shit.
No.
You step it up, we'll step it up.
Guys, stay tuned, because we are not leaving you high and dry for the remainder of the year. You will get more hot reality television content from me, Dylan, Nick right there, and Pat behind the glass. But just hold your horses. That announcement is coming. And
it's special.
It's going to be a special announcement. It'll land in your iTunes feed titled Special Announcement.
And this isn't Dylan saying it's a special announcement like he says his hot takes are going to be hot and then they're not hot. This is special.
Guys, that's the end for us. Very, very sad, but we will be back soon. Quick break. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Goodbye.